Is it worth your watch? John Wick, Chapter 4. I've seen this movie a few days now, whereas the other reviews I made on the night of, so the recency bias has kind of worn down. And let me tell you something, this movie is 3 hours long, which you might think is a lot. Like, Avatar was a bit over 3 hours, and The Batman was around 3 hours. And the difference between these movies is that Avatar kind of gets a little, no, not a little bit, a bit boring. And the Batman is actually quite entertaining throughout, and I'm happy to say that this movie is entertaining throughout. The scenes, the action throughout the entire thing is captivates your attention, and you do not get bored. Something is always happening, whether it be some interesting dialogue or fighting. And let me tell you, this time Keanu Reeves does not fall off. He definitely does provide with his acting. In this movie, I like to say that there's a bit of emotion, unlike the third one. I mean, I guess he's sad about his wife and dog and all of them, but this movie does have a lot of development for John Wick as a character, and Keanu's acting does provide to and does live up to the legacy. And the cinematography in this movie is also fantastic, with some amazing camera angles, such as this fight on a busy road where the bad guys that are like trying to get him, are circled up, they're grouped up, and he's like drifting around them in a car, and the camera angles switch and show different views, which just looks amazing. There's a lot of cool scenes like that. My favorite being in this abandoned house. He's running away from, mercenaries and whatnot. They track him in, but he got in there first, so he has an advantage. He has the stealth. It's an abandoned house and it's night, right? And at some point in this house, these bad guys are coming from everywhere, and he's fending them off. And we get a bird's eye view, sort of, where he's looking from the cameras from top down, looking on the guys. And you see they're coming around this corner, and you see John Wick is at this place. And the action is absolutely chaotic in this scene, and the visual effects are amazing. In fact, this scene is like a match of Rainbow Six Siege. They're shooting through walls, they're destroying things. He has like a gun that shoots like fire. It's like a shotgun that shoots like fire blasts, and it looks absolutely chaotic, and the visual effects look fantastic. There's a lot of cool characters. I don't know if I'm pretty sure they're new in this movie. Another mercenary that works for the table that has family to protect, like John Wick had. Well, he's kind of opposite. He's protecting, whereas John Wick is trying to avenge. But yeah, this is a cool guy. He's like blind, so he fights differently, and it definitely adds a lot of variety, and it's amazing. And this other guy that's like a rogue bounty hunter, just trying to get some quick cash. But John Wick is not a bad guy, so this guy is like, he's like hesitating when he tries to kill him. I'm not trying to spoil here. But this movie definitely has some very amazing plot development, as it is actually the final movie from the main John Wick series, because they've announced they're trying to make a spin-off, which is interesting. On another note, one of the characters that has been beloved in this movie, or throughout these movies, is actually, I'm not sure of his name, but he's played by Lance Reddick, which actually passed away a little while before this movie came out, which is quite sad. He was in one of my favorite games, Destiny 2, and his voice was amazing. His acting in this movie was decent as well. I'm not trying to spoil his character. It was good acting. Well, okay, look, it only takes place like 10 minutes in, but a little spoiler warning here. Yeah, his character kind of dies. Sorry if I spoiled anyone. But he wasn't, character wasn't that relevant, okay? But yeah, rest in peace to him. And yeah, he was a good actor. But overall, this movie has great scenes, great acting, music, the soundtrack is very good as well. The different locations that appear where fights take place, like in the last movies, it's good. He's like in the first part, he's like in Japan, fighting in this like neon hotel, and then he goes to Germany and like this cool nightclub where there's loads of people around and loads of like it's like a little dark and there's like lights. Then he goes to spoiler spoiler, but it looks amazing the entire time. This movie is definitely worth your watch. Thanks for watching, and that's about it. See ya.